towards this team because they needs them to rotate away so you can potentially get Milan back in the game.
Yeah, he threw the tree, broke the builds. He's putting pressure back on, taking shots, getting that damage in early. This high ground is so key. He's going to be in an advantageous position, just looking down on these players. But ultimately, it's a 2v1. It's going to be hard for him to force this fight and really just hope and wait for Kakarot and Adapter to move on out of here to grab that reboot card like you mentioned.
Yeah, look, at this point, Mitro only has one option. He needs to try and get his teammate back. We know how valuable in any BR it is to have your teammate there by your side, and this is no different. That's why Mitro has not backed down. I'm actually kind of surprised he hasn't attempted to break the tree that they're behind, right? You could back up out of angle, right? Hit the tree, take that out, and then you got no coverage down below. But regardless of the case, Mitro still trying to land some shots. Kakarot returning those shots as well, and the Portafort comes out. You already know, as soon as you see a Portafort, it's wraps there for this team.
And it does look like Thomas HD is going to get a knock there. But historically, Mitro was one of the most aggressive players in Fortnite history. He's not one to back off from a fight, and more often than not, he's a player that's trying to force a fight. So we do see he is going to continue to put pressure on these players, and even as they try and leave, he's like, no, you're staying here. If I can see you, I'm going to shoot you. You made a play on my teammate, now I'm going to hang out here and let you know that that's not okay with me.
Well, and you know, again, it speaks to Mitro, like you mentioned. He is an aggressive player, but he's also a player that doesn't just sit idly by and let somebody take out his teammate for free. And that's what we're seeing here from Mitro. The shots just raining in, continually connecting too, mind you, because Mitro does have some incredible aim here out of all the contestants. But now it does look like Kakarot and Adapter are going to be able to get away, and it looks like Mitro should be able to pick up Milan's card.
Now we're heading over to the center of the map here. We see Man City, Helnata, as well as Tripper and hanging out. This is EU versus Brazil. A little action going on here at Coney Crossroads. It looks like Helnata and Tripper have taken the high ground with that Portafort, and there's another Portafort that's been thrown, but it's kind of just hanging out. It's not being used right now. Now we're tuning in with a EU and a West duo of Epic Whale and Malibuca. I'm really interested to see how these two do, because this is such an interesting combination.
Well, and look, when we were talking predictions, right, I almost picked Epic Whale and Malibuca. You already know, NA West, they got a special place in my heart, right? And then pair him with Malibuca, probably my favorite EU player. It's kind of one of those teams that, in my heart, I know they're going to do well, and I think they're going to do great. But man, just Arab and Bloomy, man, just something about that mentality going into this is exciting. But now, speaking of excitement, it's the controller duo and Okus and Nut. Now trying to connect some shots here in the distance. Gonna have to slide down the hill so they can rotate forward. But will they be able to get a good position? That's the real question here, because they're pretty behind here.
It was really interesting talking to Okus, because most players at this level play claw, paddles, or a combination of claw and paddles, but he just uses a regular controller, no paddles, no claw, and I was asking, how do you do that? That is so impressive. Hey, he is clearly at the top of his game and continuing to do so, so we're going to see them rotate into zone. We're getting that northwest pull. This is super advantageous to those teams that landed in that northwest corner, especially the Daily Bugle, because you can either position in the buildings or go up onto the sides of the mountains and claim that space already. But we're going all the way here to the corner, Panda.
This is a tough zone here for these players. If you landed on the west side, on the south side, you're struggling right now. This is not easy. And remember, folks, the best way to rotate in is going to be on the dead side of zone, but that dead side is going to be so difficult to get to with all of these teams set up where they are. But here it is, Arab and Bloomy in it to win it. And actually, good play on his part. You know what? Look, it's obviously not ideal spending any time in Storm. However, you see him go back for the car and immediately now rotate away, because look at this competition taking place. It's Chapix, Andy Z, and now actually chasing after Arab.
Yeah, and they're going for it, both using their own vehicle. That's an interesting move. Not sure most teams will be doing that. We do see Bloomy and Arab rotating on out. They're using a vehicle. They have the chonkers tires on those vehicles, which is a huge advantage because it goes quickly through the water. As we do see, Hen was able to get an elimination there on the Polga. So as the zone closes, players are going to continue to get closer and closer. Those fights, whether or not you want them, are going to be forced as Zone forces you into the next team nearby.
That is it. Who will be forced to make a play here to try and stay alive? That's the question, because remember, zero build, it's just so different. Positioning is way more key than staying out here on the dead side of Zone, and that's what we see here. And it's actually, wait, they don't realize.
No.
Jintel just hanging out in the barriers, and he's going for the shots. Ends up taking out Blake. Now it's a fair 1v1. The Porta-Fort comes out. He looks to connect here with the other player, and man, scoped, kind of scrambling, does end up going into the Porta-Fort, looking to connect with him, but he actually disengages. Now shots rain forward. They're exchanging here quite quickly, but someone needs to go down here in these final moments.
And they both just keep doing laps, searching for one another. Gentile gets their shots there, and he's gonna take down both Scoped and Blake, and that's a big double elim and a nice little sneaky, tricky play.
But look, Storm Surge has presented itself, and that was why they did it, folks. They are now above the threshold, and comfortably above that threshold. But players now in this lobby, they're going to be scrambling, because remember, there's been some big changes here to Storm Surge. Now 64 players need to be down 2 here in the third zone. So it really comes down to who's kind of struggling here for Surge and what plays they're going to be able to make.
We see Z-Andy, Chapix taking a split. Falcon Spy trying to get out of that range of other players. That's Merstache taking tags. The Porta-Forts are coming out, using 2 of them at once. Okay, that's an interesting move here. We see they're going to go back up onto the higher one. And this zone is pulling out half water, half land. This is an even more difficult task. This is a tough zone to rotate with build. It's even tougher with zero builds, as there is nothing to hide behind while you make these moves.
Nothing to hide, but the shockwaves are definitely going to be a factor here. You see him holding them in his hand as he moves, but with Bad Sniper, one of the best aimers in EU, taking shots here in the distance, it's going to be tough. No one's going to be able to rotate freely if Bad Sniper has you in their sights. But as I say that, somebody pops into their Porta-Fort and ends up shockwaving them away. What a play there.
Yeah, Macwood shakes out both players from this Porta-Fort, able to heal up and steal their position. Bad Sniper and Merstache were just forced out of that, but Macwood is down to about 50 HP. He gets taken out. He's gonna get knocked. I don't see where his teammate is. Going to be in the distance somewhere, but now Bad Sniper and Merstache able to reclaim what they wanted as their castle, and we're gonna see this zone. A couple of teams all the way out there playing heals in zone, playing it slowly, trying to get themselves in. We're gonna see where third zone pulls and where every player is going to have to be. This is a great pull, Panda, unless you're one of those southern teams.
It absolutely is. Pulling back closer towards the Daily Bugle, what interests me is what's going to happen in Zone 5, Zone 6, Zone 7, because depending on where those half and half zones start to pull, it kind of is anybody's game, especially where there is some sincere elevation going around that area. But now focusing in on Merstache and Bad Sniper. Again, the kings up top of their castle, just looking to connect any more shots they can. They see some players rotating forward. This could be a huge knock, and it is, as Merstache takes out one. Ooh. Oh my gosh, the double dink headshot there from Merstache to almost clean up the second player. Now it's all about getting engaged, and that's what you see from Bad Sniper. He's going in, he's confident. 2v1 is the story of this game, and they should be able to come out on top.
Yeah. We see MF Reels looking and relaxing, trying to make a play. He goes right and jumps on Merstache. That's a knock. There's a bunch of solos in this area, and they're all getting involved. Zone's going to force them to move, but right now, it looks like Malfin is going to be able to hang up on top. Bad Sniper taking a rest, trying to understand, is he going up? Baits the rift, but now uses it, gets one tag, and is gonna look for the movement. He was hit before he used this, so not a total 150 plus HP. Bad Sniper looking to follow in his footsteps or in the air.
You know, look, I think I understand why Bad Sniper didn't necessarily go for that rift there. It's a little risky. Remember, all the players that are closer to the south side here could end up taking shots, just like Reels here, just continually getting some eliminations. This is a massive game to start off this competition, because this is only game 1 of 12.
And we see Frosty Ridley looking on the backside, trying to find players that are gonna rotate late, already taking shots. And we do see a quick replay of what happened to Milan in the early game. Now Ridley and Frosty, we were just watching, they're going to be forced to make this long rotate and hopefully not get seen. Another player in a similar position here is MF Reels.
Yeah, but look, Frosty and Redley still in this game, still in it, and huge tags come through, forcing the rift here. Another rift from Reels, and he's actually going to immediately go down onto a porta-fort, but not without taking a ton of damage first.
Yeah, he's getting pressured from multiple angles. This looks like it's only a matter of time. Gonna use the shockwaves to buy a second, but that's only he's going to get. Down he goes. That's Mansoor going to pick him up. And they're on the edge of zone. They see a couple of players in the distance, especially above them, that are using a rift. We do see Arab and Bloomy also positioning themselves, going a little late here in the zone, and they're gonna run into Frosty right here. But I just heard a snipe come through. That was a big shot. That was Ridley getting the big shots there on to Arab's teammate, but Frosty goes down.
Frosty goes down, but Arab's still in this, and he's looking to just kind of hang out and hide as well as he can. That's a really good position for him to be in, but he does need to make sure he stays with Bloomy, gets them healed up, because Bloomy does need some shield here in this situation, and now they take over the porta-fort. But with so many players here still needing to rotate forward, it's going to be tough to see who can actually make it in.
It is going to be tough, and there's a lot of solos around this map right now. Ridley's just being a nuisance here to Arab and Bloomy. They took out his teammate, and he's not going to let that go without, you know, fighting back a little bit. We've seen that a couple of times here. Looking for the position, almost going to be able to get Frosty back, but can't get under there fast enough. Nutify is going to take out Fizzle, and we do see threats. We'll get the final shots there. But Ridley continuing to hit some shots, trying to use that sniper to pressure these players as they rotate into zone, but now he's going to be in the same position, needing to make this rotate.
Yeah, see, this is going to be tough. There's a lot of players that are not in the zone as of now. A lot that are going to be struggling here on this rotate as they move forward. I think everybody's waiting to hear a rift, right? I think that's kind of like the saving grace that these players are looking for, but no rifts are getting active. So that just tells me one of two things. Either these teams are saving that rift for the in-game to try and hang out in the air as much as possible, or they don't have them, which will be interesting going into these final zones.
And there is that rift, just as you say it. You hear the audio cues. There's players up in the air. We hear the heavy snipes coming through. Arab's gonna go down. Bloomy's all by himself. Duke's gonna take some shots. Bloomy is not going to be lasting long. It won't be Duke taking him down, but now Bloomy's going to be forced into the sights of somebody else. It looks like Andalex is up there in a great position on the side of Bugle. He's playing with Scram, and they're up right on the edge of zone on top of Bugle, and it looks like Seti and Cammy are in a similar position. So we see both those teams holding this high ground position, looking down and watching the chaos unfold below. And there's another player going down. That's Redguard and Kovacs picking up that elimination. And now they're searching for a duo.
Searching for a duo. You know, look, I want to talk about this because we haven't really seen it too much here in game one, the Boogie Bomb. That play led to some great eliminations, and I'm hoping we get to see some more of that in these moving zones.
Now Cal just waiting up in the air. Right now, no one's shooting, so you can just hang out. No one sees me, I'll be fine. Let me hang up in the air, let me get my placement if I can. Now has to dive down, is starting to get fired upon. Cal goes down, tries to land in a tree. That's not gonna be enough. Thomas HD taking him out, and this is not what anyone wants to see. Thomas HD and Tayson just staring at you while you're trying to hit the ground, and it's not gonna be good for anybody. SJ gets cleaned up there, and it's just more players trying to make this rotate. This is so dangerous for everybody else.
So dangerous indeed. You already know Thomas HD, the top of the leaderboard, in my opinion, in the world when it comes to aim. Now just trying to connect some shots, but as I say that, gets knocked down and is actually getting completely punished by these other players. Fortunately, he is going to find his way into the porta-fort, heal up here a little bit, but no, as I say that, immediately gets dropped down, and Thomas HD is out.
What a play with that snipe. That's going to force a team that looked to be in a good position and put them down back in the lobby. We see Thomas goes down, Kai goes down, Tayson follows, so many players falling. Giannis is going to throw up the porta-fort, try and get some security, and then we see Scram up above taking shots there on Redley. That's going to be another elim, and they're looking to claim this high ground. That's Pilkey up above them. He's looking for another position, but right now he's holding the best position in the game. Scram can possibly make a play, but Pilkey just playing this nice and slow.
Nice and slow, and that's kind of what we heard from him when we were talking to him before the game started. But unfortunately, maybe that slow gameplay is going to cause some punishment here as he ends up going down to 1 HP. Okus now, though, throwing a Portafort. Portafort's dropping left and right just as players scram. Now down, Tripperin left as a solo player here. Hellfire is out, but huge pickup there with the Chug Cannon.
Yeah, that is huge to be able to heal up and constantly have those heals. We see so many players going down. All these eliminations are coming through. Refsguard is going to take out Tripper. Now another player comes in. Kovacs is going to take out Nullify, but Okus is going down there to Refsguard. It is chaos here on this edge of zone. Kovacs somehow manages to survive this. He's going to be okay. Possibly look to get out Refsguard, but no, Refsguard gets cleaned up here by Lecce. Polga goes into a fight here with Lecce and Sulium. Now it looks like Polga is going to be the next one, but Steno's just hanging out. He's in the vehicle with Lucy, and they're in a great position. Looks like the last vehicle in this lobby.
The last vehicle in the lobby, but probably the most effective in the whole game. You actually see them using it to continually just hide as they sit here behind this Portafort, and they're not moving, right? So that is such a smart play from them, but now they're forced to move. They're forced to start rotating in, but no one is focusing them. Everybody's focusing the rifts. This means they can easily begin to rotate, but no. I thought for a second they were going to drive that into the rift, but they're just going to continue to sit here. But Steno getting a little impatient, actually pushes Hen, and Hen hits him with the shockwave.
So he shockwaves the vehicle. That's going to make them take some weight damage. Hen's just jumping around, trying to stay alive, shockwaving back and forth. He's taking a lot of tags, but somehow still manages to get up. Steno and Lucy still hanging out, but right now, it does look like Pink and Anas are the kings of this lobby, up in the Portafort, looking down and trying to claim this first match.
Trying to claim it here. So many incredible players. Epic Whale just getting absolutely punished after that rift. 1 HP in the dream here, still surviving. Anas looking to connect some more shots, just trying to find anybody he can here in the surrounding area. Malabuka now close as well. So many players, so many talented players up in the air here, but will they be able to survive? That's the question. That's the name of the game.
Down goes Edgy. Anas picks one up. He's not even going to reload, just switch to that SMG, trying to get another one. Now the pressure comes through. He is going to get forced out of that Portafort. Steno and Lucy just hanging out in this vehicle. A player goes up. Anas comes down. Now he's looking to punish those players. Get out of my car. Get out of my lobby, he says. And it's time to make plays to force everyone out.
Forcing them out of zone. Huge tags come through, and Anas actually almost gets the elimination, but Steno gets the rift off, going to keep him alive for just a little bit longer here in this game. But now Seti attempted to go for a play. Cammy shockwaving him in the storm. Anas, though, still up in the air, looking to connect some shots with Acorn. Could potentially take him out, but Anas, Cammy, all getting rifted.
It's just a cycling rotation of players rifting, coming down, and right now the one on the bottom is Lucy looking up. If the shots come through, this game may be his. Now it is all up to him to hit them. Anas, Acorn, Cammy just cycling up in the air. Now Lucy and Steno down on the low ground, looking to make the rotate. Kovacs grabs the high ground, drops down. Anas is going to dive in the storm, make a little play, and he wants to rift again. Or wait, does he? He realizes he has a moment to relax, to heal, but it's chaos still down below him. Anas gets an elim there on the Steno, and Acorn now is looking up, trying to find Anas.
Here it is. Acorn potentially ending this game here from the sky. Anas dropping down rapidly. A huge elimination actually comes through for him, but the shockwave play, Acorn is going to be knocked, and it is all over. Anas, Pink, they take game number 1.
What an incredible play, cycling through all of those rifts that he has, staying up in the air and allowing him to survive, outlast everyone. Just hanging out in this lobby long enough and claiming that first victory royale.
And what a first victory royale it was. This is such a great way to start the day. EU always confidently saying that they're the best players in all of regions, and they're showing exactly why that is here in game number 1.
Yeah, if you're Pink and Anas after that first match, you have to be feeling on top of the world. Literally players from all over the world. You're taking game 1, and you're saying, hey, we're more than just build players. We'll take any mode you throw at us. We're the best.
They are some of the best, and listen, when we have the best of the best here competing, this is only game number 1, and I can't imagine it's going to slow down anytime soon. Man, what a way to finalize this first game. It really just sets up the pace for every other game to follow.
Yeah, that game lasted longer than I expected. These players were using the shockwaves, using the different rifts to stay alive, shockwaving other players in the zone. It wasn't simply just a defensive measure. They were using them offensively, and that was kind of how Cammy and Seti got taken out. We saw Pink and Anas using those offensive shockwaves, and then defensively using the rifts to stay alive just long enough.
Just long enough. You know, honestly, the Portaforts came in clutch there in those final moments.
Pero lástima que juega con un... O sea, juega con Vico que nunca jugó. Vico es alemán. Entiendan esto. Shelty iba a jugar con alguien que no me acuerdo, pero era importante. Shelty iba a jugar con... Ay, no me sale el nombre. Con Snacky. A Snacky no le dieron la visa. Entonces, jugó con Vico, que es alemán. Y Shelty sabe hablar inglés. Pero tampoco es que se la redan con el inglés, ¿entienden? Gracias por esos 50 bits, hermano. Me dijeron que está Ibai Yankee. Y este podría tirar un... los dos tienen... Ibai es el de izquierda, ¿no? O el de la derecha. ¿Izquierda o derecha es Ibai? ¿Cuál es? Los dos tienen un aire, ¿eh? Los dos tienen un aire. Es que la barba le da el aire. En la tabla sale Sheltian Snack. Bueno, debe estar bugueado. ¿Por qué dejaron streamear a Clix y a lo demás no? Ok, yo... ¿Explico, chat? ¿Hace falta que lo explique? 12k viewer. 9k viewer. Y, boludo, la plata, boludo, la plata, ¿entienden? No, igual probablemente lo dejaron fue así. O sea, probablemente Clix le dijo: si no me dejas streamear no voy. Para mí debe haber sido algo así, ¿entienden? Porque dejaron streamear a los de NRG. ¿Entienden? Capaz firmaron algo. Qué bien que está organizado esto, amigo. Imagínense tipo una Argentina Game Show con prize pool así, ¿entienden? Tipo un torneo acá en Argentina. Ni siquiera en Argentina, amigo. Un torneo acá en Brasil. O sea, si se hace un torneo de este calibre en Brasil, yo por ejemplo voy. Está el stream en español, Gori. ¿Qué hay un stream en español? No, pero yo prefiero este, boludo. Sí, entiendo todo, sí. ¿Traduzco, chat? ¿Traduzco? ¿Quieren que traduzca? Lo que está diciendo es que jugaron muy bien, que están muy contentos y que van a ir a la próxima partida. Que son dúas hace 8 meses.
Puede faltar, sí, puede faltar porque te sentís mal o porque tenés un pariente enfermo, todo eso está justificable. Pero
que juegan juntos, que tienen relaciones con la madre uno del otro,
a la gente que le trabaja,
que son muy familiares, que se quieren mucho.
es mi opinión.
Amigo, ¿este qué habla? ¿Este habla árabe o no? ¿Soy yo o está hablando árabe este chabón? What the fuck, es de verdad. Amigo, ¿vos crees que yo sé inglés? O sea, ¿vos crees que yo sé inglés? Dijo Gorilón Mufa. Hola, Ramón, ¿cómo estás, Ramón?